Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at a non-devotion Nature's Gift deck for 10.3. Now you know me, I always play devotion when I play Nature's Gift, but today I wanted to try something much different and go with the non-devotion route to have more control tools and really utilize Great Oak, because I found the last time I played Great Oak after the buff, I didn't really make it like the focal point of a deck, and with this here it does play a big part in the deck for control. We have cards like Karathi Heatwave that we just don't get with the Devotion version, and then of course cards like Oneiromancy for consistency, so we're not running Fauve and Call of the Forest and Isengrim's Council and all that stuff just to get our cards out of the deck. So I felt like that might give us a little bit of an advantage. Now the deck itself played not too bad. Like, I think it was competitive enough, but I think it's missing a little something, and there are some small changes that you could make between this version and maybe a final version, and I'm still trying to figure them out for myself. Maybe something like swapping out the Elven Seers for 4 provision cards, like maybe a Pyrotech, and then being able to put in maybe like a Morenn for a lock. That can make a big difference, right? So little things like that I'm just kind of messing around with, and I might go back to this, but just for the sake of things, I think it played pretty well. In the games that we did lose, we didn't lose by a lot, so it tells me we're onto something. So to go over the deck here, we're going to be playing a lot of special cards, and we're focusing on swarming one of our rows. So what we're looking to do is make a big spread on the back row so that Great Oak plays for a ton of removal value, and then Gezra's plays for a ton of boost value. At the same time, we're playing tons of specials so that at the end of the game, Gord can be a good point slam finisher. So it makes a lot of sense that way. I know we don't have the minimum amount of units, but we do have other cards that duplicate special cards like the Elven Seer, and of course Oneiromancy with the Echo, so it doesn't matter that the units are at 14 instead of 13, it still works out fine, and we don't have to worry about Gord getting his maximum value. So Oneiromancy basically helps bring things together. We get to play a card from deck. This could be any card, and we get to do it twice throughout the game, so that's really important. And as well, for consistency, we have the Simlast Fin, so this is going to be able to pull 2 bronze special cards from our deck and play them on the same turn. So whether it's going to be 2 Rebukes for removal, 2 Caresses for a point slam or temperings, or better yet, Bountiful Harvest, this is going to be maybe our primary target, right? Being able to bring out these, create and play 2 bronze Scoia'tael elves, and then boost cards in hand for a little bit of carryover. So I like taking Simlast for that, but we certainly have backup options, which is great. So I think that's all you need for thinning, because that thins for about 4, right? I think that's pretty good. And then Great Oak, of course, damage an enemy unit by the number of cards to the left of Great Oak, then boost self by the number of cards to the right of Great Oak. So we don't overkill something, we just do what we need to do, and then the rest could be counting for boosts. So with that being said, the provision adjustment making it from 13 to 12, and then the base power going up from 8 to 9, Great Oak actually feels pretty comfortable here. Gezra's is really big, and this could be used a couple different ways, right? So we have the opportunity to play this at Adrenaline, and then maybe start it on melee row, and then it'll come back and it'll boost all our units on the range row by 1, and then the following turn it'll go up and damage all the units on their melee row by 1. However, we can honestly start this on ranged row if we're playing against a Swarm matchup and really get good payoff that way. So if you're playing against Fire Sworn, or you're playing against Scoia'tael, Deadeye Ambush, you know, this could get some really good value in punishing that Swarm in the off turn, and then obviously give us a lot of boost in the meantime. And there are so many little things that just add up for, you know, stuff that they just need to remove, right? Dunka is something they want to remove. Maybe we get good rolls off Bountiful Harvest, which act as things we need to remove. We have the 2 Hamadryads that get very tall, which seek removal. These cards, you know, Dwen Canal and the Elven Seer, these are something that the opponent's going to want to remove. And oftentimes at the end of the game, when we have Gezra's of Leda in hand, this is going to be difficult for them to remove, especially if we have a little bit of a boost on it. It would require something like a Heat Wave, and hopefully at that point they don't have any left. So that's kind of the idea. Now we're basically pulling special cards from deck, whether it be, like I said, the Bountiful Harvest or Nature's Rebuke as like a primary target. We do have the ability to make 1 more copy of whatever we need with the Forest Protector, and I think that's very good. It's a very flexible option, and it could really help us in a short round, right? That's a big swing. Imagine Force Protector into a Bountiful Harvest, pull out a big point spread. We get the hand buff, we slam down the gourd. It's a really good short round. It's a really good bleeding card. It's even a really good winning round 1 card. It's honestly just great overall to have Force Protector. You could run Triss, but I think that you're losing out on the added benefit of Death Blow from a Nature's Rebuke and getting the extra boost. And obviously it would be specials from both decks, and more than often we have a target special, so that's why I opt for Force Protector there. Heatwave's just good to banish any unit or artifact. I like to have Heatwave in most of my non-devotion decks, so there you have it here. Dunka is just to establish carryover at the end of the turn, boost a random Scoia'tael unit in our hand by 1. We do have some units that aren't Scoia'tael units, so we can kind of fix what we want to buff in our hand a little bit. And with this deck not having Ethne, you don't have to worry about buffing Ethne in hand and then she transforms and we lose the boost. More than often it's going to be going on one of our top tier golds, which is really nice because we want to play these bronzes early so we get carryover on the big ones here. So I like that. Dunka can also use the order for 3 damage. This is really good paired up with something like a Nilfgaard Guardian because we have damage on order, and 3 + 2 is 5, so we could get good 5-point removal with the combination of those two, right? Of course, Gourd's just going to be a point slam. If we have hand buffs on Gourd, it's not uncommon to see Gourd playing for 20 points as a finisher, which makes Last Say kind of important to us. We do want to fight a little bit for round 1 so that we can go into that short round 3 and we can just slam Gourd down for a big point contrast. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to make sure that we didn't brick, or we had less chance of bricking, so I felt like Maxi could be a good addition here, right? Making sure that we do get our Simlast, we do get our Oniro and things of that sort, because if we do miss those, then we miss Gourd and all that type of stuff. The deck just falls apart. So I felt like Maxi's kind of like the last push just to make sure it all fits properly. Talked about Rebuke. Hamadryads are really good because they have Symbiosis along with the Nilfgaard Guardians. So Symbiosis is essentially whenever you play a nature card, spawn a Wandering Treant in a random allied row and set its power equal to the number of units with Symbiosis we control. So our leader gives us 1 Symbiosis, and then for every card with the Symbiosis tag, it would just add 1 onto that. So assuming we have these 4 cards on the board, and then we have leader, of course, we're getting Treants spawning at 5 points. Now, when you play Devotion, obviously with cards like Ethne, right, you get 3 Symbiosis tokens that you just play off that 1 card. So obviously the trees in that situation are going to be much taller, but in this deck it doesn't really play into that strategy as much. It's just about filling the rows for these cards here. So we don't often mind if we do have like a 1 or 2 point treant. There are other win conditions beyond just the big trees, so that's kind of why I have it there. And also when we play into like a Lambert matchup, the Lamberts don't get as much value because a lot of these trees are spawning in at 1 point. So, Lambert's great and everything, but it's just going to be hitting each for 1 point. So it's not really that big of a deal when we look at it that way. Now, I like Elven Seer here because we have some cards just in the deck for the nature tag, but this actually swings for quite a few points if you think about it, right? We can basically duplicate a bronze special card, so as long as we play it on this, we're good to go. So whether it be Caress or Tempering, whatever we have in hand, we can do that way. Obviously putting copies on things like Hamadryad, maybe if something else is locked, we can really just purify that, get a big point boost, and it just works out quite well. But I'm not like 100% sold on these. You could take them out if you want to. Like I said, I was thinking about a way that we could put like a Morenn in the list. I think that's fine. It has the damage if we don't need the lock, but the locks are sometimes nice because we do have a couple engine removals. We do have a Tall Punish and maybe a second, but sometimes there's that one thing you can't deal with, and with the control list it's kind of nice to have a little bit more. So I'm for a lock. I don't mind a lock, but it really just kind of comes down to taking something in around this range out. I like the Guardians because of Symbiosis and Non-Devotion, so I wouldn't really take those out. So it just kind of leaves Elven Seer being maybe something that you could if you wanted to. But all in all, I was pretty happy with the deck performed, with the way it performed. And Spore is just a tall reset, right? Tempering, boost by 5, and Peller. Peller's kind of important if we're going tall and something has poison. Like, if we have a 20-point Hamadryad, for example, and they poison it, we want to make sure we take care of that. If the Elven Seer gets locked, we want to make sure we can take care of that, right, and purify it. But also, if they have an immediate threat that's going to be behind a defender, let's say we're playing into a Clog matchup where they have a Colgrim that's expected to go behind the defender, right? We want to be able to purify something so that we can heat wave that big target. So that's really what it comes down to. I wish I could have something like a Squirrel in the deck, but there just isn't really a lot of room. And another healthy consideration here was the Pyrotech, and Abandoned Girl would be pretty good too if I can find it for you guys. It's not something I often play, but this transforms into a Young Dryad, which is actually pretty good for the Symbiosis tags if you wanted to play a little bit more into that. But all in all, pretty comfortable with the way things went here, and I have a bunch of games, something like 6 games for you guys today. I'll show you all wins and losses, and you know, like I said, even with the ones we lost, I don't think it was all too bad. With some of the ones we won, we really won, so the deck was fun. And like I said, I might mess around with it a little bit. If you guys have any ideas, let me know, but I think it's pretty good for a first take. This is a little bit of an idea. It's this one. Just like as a substitute, what you could do is maybe throw a Pyrotech in there, or better yet, Abandoned Girl, either or, take out the Seers, and then put the Morenn, right? So that's an option. But we'll get into the gameplay here today, and if you guys enjoy the content that you see, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Right now, I'm uploading every single day on YouTube at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I will be starting to stream on Twitch starting this Saturday. So if you guys want to keep up with the stream schedule as I put that together, make sure you hop in the Discord. We just passed a couple hundred people in the Discord. Great community. Love talking Gwent, so if that interests you, definitely hop in, and you'll know when I stream because there's a little notification box for that. And lastly here, I just put up a Patreon over the last week, so if you want to support the channel even more, you can go check that out, and there's some good rewards for you guys as well for your continued support. So that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys liked the video, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new one. Okay, so we got Nilfgaard Imposter up first. Put back these, we have a pretty good chance. We pull a Neuromancy into Simlas. We've got really good tempo. Gezra's here, round 1's not bad. I just don't really want them to use leader on it, so maybe it's like a play early type thing. Who knows? I think we could just keep it low key, play Dunka first, and just see how they play. So right away with the defender, I want to know what's going on behind this. It might slow things down a little bit, right? It doesn't really stop Dunka. It could just be like the only proactive thing that they have, and maybe they're trying to go into like a whole Damien play or something, but I don't think I care that much, really. Like, it seems like a big deal, but we could just take Purify this coming turn. So if you guys missed it in my previous video, whoops, almost dropped my phone. I mentioned that I was going to get back to streaming this coming weekend, so look out for that this Saturday. Haven't decided what time, but if you're in my Discord server, I set up a channel where it'll notify you guys when I go live, so if you want to hang out, then you'll always know when I'm online. What are we playing against? Should I be worried? At this point, I don't know. Like, here, I'll put something down with Veil. I mean, it dies if they have Assassination anyways, but we'll just, yeah, split it up a little bit. How much cards for consistency? So they have this, Curse Scroll, Oniro. Okay, what's Operator going for now? Ah. And we're only like a turn into the game, too. Alright.
The realm of the living severs your chain. Abandon now your mortal stain.
We gotta deal with these one at a time, don't we? I'll do it next turn.
Optimum dosage teeters on the precipice of lethality.
I think we have to take Simlas, actually, into a couple rebukes.
At your age, at 2 centuries, you behave like you were barely one.
They must have the means to make a few more copies of that, but I don't know. Yeah. There's really not much we can do about it either. Let's see. I mean, we can maybe snipe one of them out.
My loyalty is to Imperial coin, not to the face depicted thereon.
Oh, they're gonna go up. Yeah, so we can get 2 of them on this turn. Something like that. The wild part is that we're barely ahead. How many was it now? There's 3 here that we dealt with.
I'll crush your arrogance out.
Okay. So they're just gonna do a bunch of fangs, I guess.
Come to me, little one.
I think we still need to Adrenaline 3. We'll maybe play this. It's kind of expensive though. Like, I think we could play everything else except for that. It's not a bad heat wave. So they might get their pass. I don't really want them to have it. Let's just take that. They spent leader, so I don't feel as bad. We've got some... Okay.
Don't ask a lady her age. It's unbecoming.
Yeah, we'll just play like this. 6. I think we still do play. Yeah, we should be good there. So we got overwhelming hunger, and I have to say, I have a strong feeling that I think it's Vi off the get-go, or V, right? Put back to Purify because I don't think it's important, and usually 2 of these in 1 round's not very good. However, we do have, actually 2 of these in 1 round's not much better. Not a lot of cards that can play really down in this round. Like, it's going to be expensive, so maybe we have to... We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out here.
The only good door is a dead door.
Yeah, it's what I thought. So we could deal with as many of these as possible. We should be fine. Good thing we're stacking melee. I don't want to use Great Oak early, though. I have to start setting up board state, otherwise we're just not going to get lucky here. Because, like, I could go for, like, a Rebuke, and then it just gets pretty bad. This could just be a Spores win.
Tis my shroud. I was born with it. I shall die with it.
Actually, there's no indication that we're non-devotion yet, so if I can keep it that way, it's probably better.
The elders must put a stop to this rebellion, else they will face devastation.
Just hit him with the Onero Spores, we're good. That's gonna pull out Gezra's.
No point in showing mercy.
And we probably just feed off the extra points, right? Okay. They have no idea. That's perfect. We can hide it. So Gord got some value. Hamadryad's looking pretty good. Great Oak's alright. So far this deck's pretty similar to my own. So if that's the case, they have Spores too. So we have to be careful just in case. I think we can afford to take this. So we're missing 1, 2. Yeah, there's a few things I'd like to have. Except I don't want to go Onero here, because then they might go wider with the points. I want to have them in round 3 committed with their hand, and then that's that. Obviously, seeing Gezra's round 1's really bad, because that was like a win condition in my opinion. I got this cotton candy energy drink, oh my gosh, on a bed of ice. Beautiful things. They released the new Warzone map today, like they added to it, so I'm gonna play that tonight with the boys, but you know, gotta get all wired up for then. So Forktail I've seen this in play. I think it's really good. It's a good tech for Swarm. 4 provision slots, like, really flexible in that deck. So we got these two, which is great. If I go... Okay, look, if we go into some, like, with an Oniro, we're grabbing, like, a Tempering or a Caress. It actually works out quite well, so we keep the hand the way it is, and it's going to be very strong. And we don't have to go non-devotion for a while, so they won't expect it. They might just think we missed our Ethne or whatever the case. Can't deal with Haunt, we gotta let it stay. However, Protector's probably very good here. It's just one less consume, because you see they have 1 liter charge here. They go taller with the Barghest. That's probably the move. Even though it sort of, like, is rushed, you know, it takes away from her Symbiosis value. It's still probably the play. We'll try and get down 1 and 2 as soon as possible. 13-point B in round 3 is not really that impressive. They might take another consume there, just play into the heat wave.
Though trees live longer than humans, they
I won't
need
stack the roll. I'll probably start playing on melee a little bit too, because I don't suspect we'll need to, you know. Here, we'll get these out, and then we can start playing into our whole, like, Simlast thing with the Bountifuls. Hopefully they use the Barghest. Okay. Still, 22 points is huge, right? There we go. 21, sure. We get 2 removals right there that I'm pretty happy with. Actually, stacking does make some sense here, right? We want to set up a pretty good oak. I'm floating everything. I don't think we have to worry about control in this matchup. I think we still roll Simlast here. If I can get something that does 2 damage, then we're doing alright. Actually, this is pretty good. So we got, this goes there, we'll spam that row. This is not row locked, so damage 2. Damage 2, we can sort of regulate the consumes at this point. And then I feel like we could honestly dish a leader charge here. It doesn't hurt. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I think it's Great Oak. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. There. And we have time to wait here. So they'll likely use the bargain. Yeah. Look. I'm going to take this now.
Splendid crops this year, and ever they shine. Leave it to me. The valley of flowers.
And just give them the false hope that we don't have any sort of punish.
With me, you'll forget your sorrows.
Front row's jammed. We got just enough space for Gord, which is great. And just enough to get Gord to max. Just in case they have a K-Ran or something. I think they're gonna forfeit. Yeah. Gordo's worth 20 points. Alright, so we got Onslaught up here. And we are on red, so we could push it. I don't think Spores is very good here, though. So, of course. Every time I say we'll push it, we always pull into, like, Bountiful. I wish I had something to, like, unbrick the hand, but it's probably not even worth putting in, like, a Fisher King or something like that. They're gonna get pretty good trades, I think, on these if they have Gutting Slashes. We'll do this one first, because we have a lot of specials in hand for the Seer.
Women, children, elders.
I don't mind removing that here, actually. We probably just use the damage, otherwise we might lose the opportunity. Let's take it here. And then we just put down Seer, take Caress, right? There's less need for them, or like, want for them to remove that. Oh, okay. They want to keep it out of the range. I got it. So maybe that something like this provokes the second leader charge. If we could pull this off, though, it's going to be so many points. Wrong card. Oftentimes, people will ignore the symbiosis tags on the Dwen Canal for whatever reason, so it really helps us out. I think we could just play... Wow. Yeah, we could just take, like, Maxi. Gather some information. So, actually very bad. We'll put Spores at the bottom. It's probably the worst card we can have. I mean, don't we just play like this and we're good? So do you bleed Onslaught? Actually, I think we can bleed with Simlas quite well. It'd be nice if we could pull into... Okay, perfect. Let's see here. That's like a really good hand. Is it all the way hand? I don't know. How effective is Rebuke? Maybe that's better for Rupture. Maybe... Okay. Maybe we just, like... keep it slow here. If they use Gutting Slash plus Leader, is not horrible. But then we jam this. I just want to get the extra points on the tree because we're playing a couple different cards. We're only down one card, really, so it's not bad. I don't think it's 2-0, but... Actually, that's like a really good tempo play. Fukusha into a boat. Seems like the right one to take. We'll take this so that they use the other leader charge.
This moment, I've seen it already.
Good pull. Yeah, we'll put it here just in case we have to keep the road nice and spammed. I'm thinking about playing Gezras, but I don't know. Of course they snipe it. Let's make them work for it a little bit, and if they can't answer it on this turn, we pass. If they take a heat wave on this turn, we still pass, I think. Oh, that's actually a very good Squirrel. 26-18 gets another card. Great Oak's a lot of points. Fakusha's been spent. I have to worry about, okay. It's looking kinda devotion, yeah? If they play Turgvi, then I just use Purify. If they play Morkvarg, it's not really enough to get them ahead, so we could still pass. Okay. That's probably still the pass. And that's not even enough unless they use leader, right? Yeah. So this way we maintain last say Gord. So far we're 10 points. They might have Herald though, which is kind of scary. We could Heatwave. Okay. Trying to decide if I care about Turgvi. I think this is like not very important. I think this is actually pretty bad too. Do we just lose? That might be it for us. I don't know if we can recover from that. Really bad pulls. Okay. At least they missed Burna. We'll try and get some carryover here. I don't know if they're going to have 5-point removal. Right? We should play it smart, realistically, right? Even if it means getting rid of some of the carryover. Yeah. It's kind of a big deal. Unfortunately, these don't do much.
Very corpses? Nay, feed our foes to the crabs while they still live.
Tis my tree. I was born.
I think we're a little short. Like, this is 12 points, which is not bad. But these are just tons of points. If it's Morkvarg, we're even doing bad here. Yeah. Just came down to really missing. Like, I think Heatwave would have done it. So we got Reckless Flurry up next. I feel like everything we'd play is just gonna not live. Let's try though. Good traits for these, for them. Put back Gord for now, because I kind of want to play the round a bit deeper. This is not really great either. Every single time. It's like... I almost feel like we're not supposed to take that mulligan. We'll just start playing cards one at a time though. Okay, Portal.
Gotcha. No,
Sure.
no, damn it! Taking up it.
see if we can get any sort of carryover. I do think that they're probably going to try and deal with that this turn, but I don't think they're running Stunning Blow. I think it's going to take either 1 leader... There's that, yeah. See how far we can go really with this. If we lose last say we lose Gord, which could mean we lose game. So I kind of want to take it somewhat seriously, right? Try this again. Just the sim last play really takes away from the tempo that we have.
Why don't train on the cone? I hate it.
I don't know if that's bugged. Okay. It's probably that, because I know the payoff's going to be bigger.
You can hide, but I'm gonna get you.
Put Spores to the bottom. I think they might have Leo. This looks like Witcher Swarm.
Go ahead. Stare at me stump again, see what happens.
You gotta dodge. You gotta have them.
28 to 8, 2 cards. Yeah. This should keep them in the round at least. $32-14. Again, it comes down to us not being able to deal with that, right? Like, we could deal with it, but then we have bleeding going on, and then we have to make up the points in one turn, so I don't think it's worth it. I'm kind of glad that we don't have Ethne in this deck right now, because the leader really takes care of it easily. There's that. This can go back, obviously. So what are we missing? I think we do take Simlas into round 3. It just seems like a lot of points to pass up, you know?
I was born. I shall
That's what
die.
we'll do. I guess that's not bad. Kind of wanted to pull that and that, but that's the thing though, like if I was to take Simlas round 2, then sure, there might have been a chance that we get Protector, but overall, it's tough to say what would be better. This is going to be some hidden value for later. I think we're supposed to respect it. Maybe we can get away with jamming Seer.
I see no other paths.
And then just take like the 2 temperings, right? Yeah, we could do it now even. Now, if they're running Lambert, that's like really bad, right? Because we have so many treants on the board, but it does trade down a little bit because we don't have all the added symbiosis. So, something to consider.
Take care of your blades, and they'll take care of you.
Do they float it? Okay. This is essentially 4 points.
I'll lend you a hand, but then I'd outgrown.
The windmill. The sticks spin around and smash you.
I think it's still Rebuke here. And I'm really happy that it's just boosting the same old tree because way better value for us. We'll probably use something like the Caress, and then we'll just go down with the Gezras and then just kind of play accordingly. That's not great, but... There's like a small chance that it's Arnagod, so we gotta be careful. And there's also a chance that they have a heat wave, and that could be pretty bad. Right, Gezras is gonna really help us out here.
What are you gonna do? Huh?
Let's try at least. Let's try and reduce like the bloodthirst and all that. Could be Igni, could be Arnagod, could be Axie, could be regular Geralt. It's probably taking damage now before the board state gets worse. We gotta be careful though, if they have Junid, they can snipe it maybe with, yeah, Junid, Lambert, and like... Okay, that's not bad. Maybe it's just this heat wave here, right? Gord plays for 12. If they reset it, it's not horrible, but I'm just hoping that this leads enough. That +1 card. Lambert's pretty good. Okay. Kind of makes you wish we saved it. So if they have a reset, we're in trouble. We just lose. That's also bad. Okay, so by a few points. Alright, so double cross coming up next. I don't want them to roll Oak. So I think we always put that back. Purify I don't think's really important here. Okay, so... Let's see what they got.
I see no other path, sire.
We're just doing a joust check real quick, you know? So that'll probably be it. No? Okay.
Sing to our tune.
This off a mushy truffle could be actually pretty bad. I think we're supposed to let it go. I don't think they take a coup on it.
doesn't belong.
So it's probably using the first one. I was thinking if we could somehow line them up, it would be kind of nice, but purifying this, getting rid of the coups, like actually pretty good. So I don't think we have a way to get rid of. We'll just take it for points.
True love could lift the curse, but who would love?
Everyone has their secrets. Everyone.
They might have something to put. Maybe it's Joust that they're trying to line up. It's hard to say. I think we could still play a little bit more.
War will be our downfall.
We take the 1 and 2, we go for the pass. Just off the caress. Seeing Brathens early is kind of nice. But we don't necessarily have to stop playing here. Actually, that's a pretty good rebuke, is it not? We'll probably want to save them later, actually. Like, they've done a lot of copies already. I think it's just pushing. Like, that's just crazy. We got Vitality on 4 different units for now, 2 to go. I want to say that we pass on that. I think that they might, though. But if they don't, it's going to be very expensive. And for us, it's actually a very affordable round, just like Caress spam, really. Okay, they're going to go into it here. That's horrible. Putting down the framework. Like, I think it's probably important to win the round. I think we have what we need to do it. I wasn't expecting Lydia there. That's actually a pretty good play. Megascope feels kind of awkward. Take Oniro. I want to go for a thin here. We'll take Maxi out.
Your magic can't harm me. No magic can.
Top deck's not bad. Like, we're getting these. Maybe we just go for the roll, actually. This is going to be a lot of points.
Grace will not be pleased.
They take leader as well. Okay.
We didn't take the mutation process.
We must banish her. I see no other paths.
We kind of have to just
Great deal to be learned.
match the Gezras and rebuke it next turn. All the high rolls, all the stops. I'm hoping that the last card they have is expensive. Because we could get this here. Right? And then this would force them to play. If it's like a Yennefer's Invocation, I feel like it's a good trade. Mushy Truffle. So with that, they're probably going to want to try and 2-0. I don't think you'd just play it for the points. Put that back. That's actually really nice. Maybe Gord goes back for... Okay, yeah. We have a throw card. So... part of me wants to go for, like, a Protector. Just to, like, stop whatever they have. I think it's going to be, like, Terra Nova, right? Yeah. And then we should have enough room to just go and play something like Hammer from hand. Maybe not have to play Simlas. Alright, I guess that's it. We definitely keep leader in this case. Good call on that. Now, if we could just find a couple cards here, we should be fine. They might have double Tall Punish. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they have Yen as well. So I don't really know if Gord is the play, but we'll find out shortly what we could do here. So we could mulligan back that. Spores, maybe if they're running like Joachim, but I think we actually dump it. We'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we do have the vitality we want to get started, so maybe it's actually this. Yeah, we'll use this for damage, like, really. Okay.
What is truth if not an illusion?
This is a big threat. Let's see. I could get rid of this, but I think Simlas will probably pull something that does 2 damage, right? Perfect. That's like the best situation that we could hope for. And just that seems fine to me. Dunka kind of looks like a finisher play because we don't have anything in hand to boost. Just keep it out of the coup range, I suppose. Last say 11 points. Yeah, I think we pretty much have this one here. They like went real aggressive early on. Alright, so next up here we got Invigorate, Scoia'tael, and this one shouldn't be quite as bad. You just put back 1 and 2, and I think we're supposed to go and put back the gourd, but at the same time, I don't love the Peller here either. That's not horrible, I suppose. We'll just go and boost this up. Most of the time they're devotion, so I don't think we have to worry too much about them dealing with the dunk with a heat wave or anything like that. I think our long round 3 game's pretty good too with Gezras. If it's double rebuke, I swear. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. We just have to match that pace, essentially. I don't think we do it right away. I think we want to think more long-term and just go for, like, go for the symbiosis engines first, right? We'll put down, I think, the Gwent Canal, and then we'll go with the Hammer. And I really want to play down units because, like, I don't... Okay, that's not all bad. We'll just use it, right?
Though trees live longer than humans, they need protection from them.
I'm going to greed it out a little bit more, too. We're getting really good hits with the Gezras here. Flipping over to a Deadeye doesn't really make too much of a difference. We get some pretty good value here off the Caress, right? Big thing's just being patient. They haven't had a whole lot of carryover, so it's not all bad. And... how are you supposed to play the matchup? I'm trying to decide if I want to take more hand buff, you know what I mean? Is it worth the 2 points to play down to 4? That just gives them long round, but we have heat wave and stuff. But they did spend bountiful, so maybe we actually push them the second round? Yeah, because Gezras is actually really strong. I think it's what we're supposed to do. It depends on how we pull. Spore is really good. Actually, this is not so great. Okay. So maybe we don't push. More points because of tempering, right?
The elders must put a stop to this rebellion, else they will face devastation.
Here's the thing, though. Simlas isn't ruined, so I'm considering just, what do we have? 1 rebuke, 2 rebuke? We use the Caress round 1. The longer we play into it, the worse the carryover gets, right? That's what we got to be careful about. We do have to thin, though.
Only one with no sense would trust the word of
be our downfall. This I have seen.
Because, like, I'd like to pull 1, 2, 3. Like, there's quite a bit of stuff.
Oi! Hey there! Come here!
Probably just this. It's a lot of value. Now, we might actually just consider Temple Pass here. Yeah, Saskia comes down. That's huge.
You'll regret your mum ever squirted you out.
Yeah, I worked for the police. Better than working.
Less to deal with in round 3, right? We just need our couple tall punishes. I'm hoping that this version specifically doesn't run Skags. Okay. So a couple things here. This can go. This is still a play. Protector and Heatwave kind of important, right? Everything else is just a strategy, though. We get 1 mulligan. Actually, there's a lot of good stuff we could pull at the same time. It's meant to be. I think Heatwave's gonna net the most points, though. We probably have like a 20-odd point Heatwave.
Got business for me?
Not how much we can do about that. Let's see.
Children giving parents up unto death. It is inevitable.
So far, no signs of non-devotion, right? This is gonna get pretty bad.
Just for you, love.
We gotta deal with these somehow. Like, the fact that they're at 6 makes it super difficult. Okay. I suppose we just focus on the things that we can control. Everything's kind of going the way that they want it to, though. That's a problem. It's at 5. We can remove that here. We really need stuff on the back row. I think because... Yeah, because Gazrez is 10 points, I think it's worth just playing.
Step forward and let us settle this.
I gotta snipe the 1 at least.
Style. That's right. I like people style.
We'll take the one here, take the points. I think if they had an answer to it, they would have probably used it by now.
We are the eyes of God.
Okay. So nothing else to really give vitality to, so I think we just have to deal with it that way. We obviously want to get more value. Like, I feel like our resets are going to be much better than the 2 points on the gourd.
Used to chop wood, but the pay's better for sword.
I think us winning depends on them not having skags and not having... Yeah, okay. So last card's probably gourd, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll take Heatwave on that. We should be good. Aglaeus, even better. There we go.